Throughout our history, there have been many things that people find mysterious, things that remain in the dark and remain unsolved. We are going to be covering one of those today, and it is one of my personal favorites, and it is so famous, it gets its own statue. Today, we're going to be exploring the legend of Mothman. Point Pleasant, West Virginia, the place where the legend originates from. The people who live in the city know all too well about Mothman, and at this point, it is engraved in the minds of the people who live there. The legend begins all the way back in 1966, where 5 men who were digging a grave at a cemetery claimed to have seen a man-like figure fly low from the trees over their heads. This is often identified as the first known sighting of what became known as the Mothman. Couples see man-sized bird, creature, something. Read the headline that came out a few days after 2 young couples from Point Pleasant, Roger and Linda Scarberry and Steve and Mary Millette, told police they saw a large gray creature whose eyes glowed red when the car's headlights picked it up. They described it as a large flying man with 10-foot wings following their car while they were driving. The deputy saw how scared the encounter made them. He could see the terror in their eyes and was convinced that they were not lying. He took it so seriously that the deputy took Scarberry back to where the encounter happened near the McClinton Wildlife Management area. Although nothing was found, the story of the creature started to spread around the small town. The people of Point Pleasant feared that the creature would be a danger to them, so they all joined together to go hunt down the Mothman. Their efforts would turn up nothing, but the sightings would continue. Throughout the next year, many more locals came forward with their own sightings of the creature. Most, if not all, the sightings were similar to each other in describing the Mothman, how it took off into flight, and its glowing red eyes. Now, what exactly is the Mothman? It is often reported to be a dark-colored creature, about 7 feet tall, with a wingspan of about 10 to 15 feet or more, plus the ability to fly over 100 miles an hour. Its eyes are reported to be glowing red, or at least reflecting that color back. Anyone who gets a close look at the Mothman seems to suffer from extreme fear and psychological distress, sometimes lasting for months or even years afterwards. In particular, people say that a sense of pure evil overcomes them when they see Mothman's eyes. When he flies, he unfolds his wings and shoots up with great speed, then levels out to go wherever he wants to go. The creature was also assumed to have a forewarning type of ability, his presence warning of an impending disaster, which we will get to. This creature was actually given its name by the newspapers and taken from one of the Watchmen characters called Mothman. Another fun fact is that the Mothman has also been associated with UFOs and men in black that have visited some of the witnesses in that area where he was sighted. The sad thing though is that the story of the Mothman ends in tragedy. On December 15th, 1967, after the collapse of the Silver Bridge and the death of 46 people, the incident gave rise to the legend and connected the Mothman sightings to the bridge collapse, prompting the people of Point Pleasant to stop talking about the Mothman. No one wanted to talk about him anymore. Years later, in an area outside of the town known as the TNT area, a man made a discovery. He found out that the bunkers in the area had been leaking dangerous chemicals into the swamps around the area, which sprouted the idea that Mothman was some sort of mutated bird. This isn't the end of Mothman though. He has had many alleged sightings outside of Point Pleasant. People say that he has been sighted before the Chernobyl accident and on 9/11. He also lives on in countless books, movies, and the museum and festival that take place in Point Pleasant. So what do you think? Do you think the Mothman is real, or is he just a hoax that a couple of teenagers came up with to get some attention that ended up growing into a nationwide phenomenon? Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. and let me know what other dark mysteries I should cover next time. And remember, if you're outside driving at night, or if you're walking through the woods and you see glowing red eyes, be careful, because you never know what exactly it could be.